Okay, let's finish talking about the very short-lived YA series Indiana Jones Untold Adventures from 2009. I talked about the first book, Indiana Jones and the Pyramid of the Sorcerer, written by Ryder Windham, and this is the second one, Indiana Jones and the Mystery of Mount Sinai, written by J.W. Rinsler, who's most famous, I think, for writing the making-of books on like the original Star Wars trilogy or the Indiana Jones movies, the original four. This book is kind of a direct sequel to Pyramid of the Sorcerer, because Indy is still working now for the US government under Colonel Musgrove, who is one of the guys in the briefing scene in Raiders of the Lost Ark, and he's still teamed up with the woman Bird, which is a fun dynamic going on there. And in this one, stuff is happening. Okay, this is not the worst Indiana Jones book I've ever read. Don't take this the wrong way. This is the most fucking nuts one, but not in a fun way. It's convoluted as hell, and I have no clue what is actually the point of this book and what's going on. So, Indy is up against the Nazis again. We could switch this up at least like for the Japanese or something, just to get some variety in there, but okay, it's just the Nazis again. The gimmick here is the Nazi is based on early concepts from Raiders, where the Arnold Todd character was supposed to have like a robot arm, which was scrapped because that's a fucking retarded idea, but it gets used here, and I mean, the cover looks cool. And the guy is named fucking Mephisto, which is fun. Helmut von Mephisto. He's the main villain, he's just a one-dimensional Nazi guy, but it's kind of fun in just how evil and one-dimensional he is. So, he's fine as a bad guy, I guess. Indy and Bird have to investigate something that the Nazis are also interested in, which is the titular mystery of Mount Sinai. Something is in that mountain, and I don't know what. At some point, I just completely lost it with the story. I had no idea what anything meant. But I think aliens are involved again. Like, it started out pretty okay, like you can follow what's going on, and there's like a very nice little scene just with Indy and Bird visiting Henry Jones Sr. And there's a very nice, wholesome moment with Indy and Henry, which I enjoyed. And then there's some fun stuff, like they have to go to Italy, and there is fucking Mussolini there as well. And then they fight against Mephisto and his Nazi henchmen a bit, and that's also still good. But then the whole third act. They are in Mount Sinai, and there's like... the inside, there are like 2 giant statues or something. And there's a fight, and Indy and Bird escape. And Mephisto apparently dies, but he doesn't really. It's revealed at the end. And then apparently a spaceship starts from the mountain into space. I think. I have to say I think, because the book is very confusing. I don't really understand what the MacGuffin was, or what the point was, or why, or how, or just, And I think the third book, which this one teases, would have dealt more with that. Because it's set up at the very end of this that Indy is being sent to Japan because they are doing research into something that has something to do with space and Orion or whatever. I guess we could have learned there, but this is the last one. And the story here wraps up. The villain is not really dead. Something happened. Something space-related. Nothing is clear. Everything is confusing. I cannot recommend this book. Even though it has some fun elements in it, this was an absolute fucking mess, in my opinion. And yeah, I'm sorry. Maybe I'm just completely... I know I'm stupid, but the ending, I need explanations. What the fuck any of this was supposed to be. Like, seriously, if any of you have read this, please tell me what I'm missing, because the ending is so unclear, I have no idea. The book just says something rose up from that mountain into space. Something, no details, like... I'm just so confused. Okay, this was a disappointing end to this series. Again, a third book could have done something here and explained shit, but here we are, Indiana Jones and the Mystery of Mount Sinai by J.W. Rinsler. That's the only, fiction book of his I've read. I don't know if he even wrote anything else like this. But, yeah, it's not great. Best thing about it, definitely the cover. I just can't recommend this book. Not if you liked the first... If you really liked seeing Indy and Bert, like the female sidekick, then maybe if you're, a big fan of that dynamic of characters, but this book just isn't. It has good scenes, like the Henry Senior scene that's in here is great, for example, but the third act as specifically, like the MacGuffin and everything, it's so unclear, it's so convoluted, it's such a mess. Or maybe I'm just stupid. I really don't know. This book just left me utterly confused as to what the fuck any of this means. What a way for the Indiana Jones books to end. I mean, this one and Army of the Dead, they really fucked up with the indie relaunch, literary stuff. And I mean, I don't even hate Army of the Dead, but this book is a mess. Army of the Dead, while I don't hate it, the decision to have Indy just be a small part and put so much focus on the villains, that definitely also didn't help with readers who wanted, or expected a traditional indie adventure where he really is the main protagonist. So, yeah. It's a mixture of no one caring about Indiana Jones media, outside the movies and stuff, and just poor decision making on the publisher's part, what they did with the stories. Disappointing indeed.